Previously on the Seegers family edifice venture. With shovel in hand, I headed off the termite problem by digging a trench and putting flashing around the foundation to stop water from getting to the wood and basement. Later, Penny, Jory, Ian, and myself rolled up our sleeves and removed several years of dirt, leaves, and shrubs from the area that would become the future greenhouse. After cleaning out that area, we sort of jumped back and forth between siding and fixing portions of the footer until we had our regular crew together. That happened August 2nd, 2007, and when the crew came together that day, things really started to move. In only 2 days, we managed to frame the greenhouse walls, deck the roof, and install the 3 windows that would make up a wall of glass. Just when we thought we were doing good, someone in the neighborhood called the county and complained we were working without a permit. Even though we were communicating with the county and was told that we didn't need permits for what we were working on, we were stopped due to a technicality. To get the needed building permit, we had to have a soil boring test to get our septic permit first. While waiting for the permits to come in, we were able to keep moving forward. Through the generosity of a local wood recycler, we were able to have several trees removed from the property at no cost. And as an added bonus, Penny visited VIM Wood Recycling and learned how trees and other types of wood are turned into valuable landscape mulch.
To this point in our project, it seemed that fate was playing a demented game of red light, green light with us.
Unfortunately, it's been more red light than green.
In this episode, the light turns yellow, allowing us to proceed slowly, at least for a short time.
If you like our podcast, you'll love our website. Check it out at edificeventure.com. See pictures, read blogs, find cool links, and get information on green products and services.
Well, we got 4 kids, a cat, and a dog, and we're looking for an open space where we can stretch our legs and start a new life and build us a greener place. Our structure stood with no inner walls and a big hole in the roof. Now it's hard to build the American dream, and brother, this is living proof. A giant labor of love is falling down on County Road 1. But with TLC and nature's harmony, we can keep it from a coming undone. Seegers family edifice venture, a practical way to go green. Seegers family edifice venture, show you something that you've never seen.
The Seegers Family Edifice Venture is sponsored in part by Habitat for Humanity of Elkhart County, building decent affordable housing with people in need. WVPE 88.1, a NPR station. Inform, entertain, inspire. Anco Products Incorporated, our energy saves you energy. And Heritage Antique Lumber, crafting fine furniture, custom cabinetry, and trim using lumber from historic barns.
11 Bravo Enoch loves the Seegers family edifice venture.
If you never had to wait for a building permit, let me tell you, it's a lot like watching the leaves fall off a tree in the fall, painfully slow. But the Seegers family never gives up and always continues to move forward no matter what. Right, kids?
Right, Dad, right!
That's right. So while we waited, we decided to do a little property maintenance. My nephew Charles and I moved a pile of dirt away from the building into our field. We filled the ruts that were left by the fire trucks that were parked there during the fire a few months earlier. Now, moving dirt really isn't that exciting unless it's being moved by my family. It seems the ruts had a couple of rabbits living in them. Well, until we started filling them up with dirt.
Oh my gosh! Take it!
That was rabbit number 1. And we did chase a few more out of the weeds. Just when we thought it was safe to continue, one last rabbit made a break for it. let's take a look at that again. Look how close Gwen is to the rabbit she is chasing. That girl sure can run. Run, Gwen, run. September 12th, 2007. It had almost been a month since we were stopped, and we were still waiting for our building permits. So the next project we tackled that didn't require a permit was cutting the leftover logs from the land clearing into firewood. We had plenty of help. Brad Smith, a student of mine who lives in the neighborhood, helped me move wood during the morning, and the family and Ian helped during the afternoon. I shouldered a chainsaw while the twins, Gwen and Ian, moved and stacked the wood. We worked the entire weekend to reduce the pile of wood into neat stacked rows of wood, but the volume was too much and we had to return a second weekend to complete the job. You never know what you're going to find in a hollow log when you cut it in half. We found insulation for the building in this log. I never thought squirrels would be that energy-minded to line their nest with R30 insulation, but with the weather getting colder, I could appreciate the bushy-tailed, nut-bearing critters for their ingenuity. So while we waited for our permits, we did odd jobs around the building. Another month went by, and finally, on October 17, 2007, we received our sewage permit. The one permit we needed before getting our building permit. Or so we thought. Upon presenting the sewage permit, we were informed that we needed a driveway permit even before we could get a building permit. Holy permit confusion! How many permits did I need? I mean, come on. To put new windows in, siding up, and a roof on the building, all of which was to keep the elements from ruining the building. I needed a sewage permit and a driveway permit? I mean, neither of those permits had anything to do with our current projects at hand. Okay, calm down. Almost another month went by, and finally on October 29, 2007, we got our building permit. It's November 13th, 2007. Ken Mast and Ken Rimke just came out here and dropped off their really cool little piece of machinery there. I want one of those for Christmas. That's just around the corner too. But we're getting ready to put the septic tank in. They'll drop the tank off tomorrow morning about, he said, between 9:30 and 10:30. They've already dropped off a lot of the other elements that go into a septic system. They started digging out some of the dirt tonight, and they'll come out here tomorrow, then they'll finish all this off. One of the good things, it kind of dawned on me, we have to have a culvert put into our driveway also. And for another 100 bones, they're going to go ahead and install that for us tomorrow. That probably saved us a couple $100 that I didn't have to have someone else come out here and do it after he put the septic system in. On November 14th, 2007, things really started hopping as the septic system went in. While Ken Mast dug the hole for the septic tank, Ken Remke started the work of putting a hole through the basement wall where the pipe leading to the tank would exit the building. The 1,500-gallon tank arrived right around noon and in two pieces. First, the bottom half of the tank was placed in the hole. Then a sealer tape was put on the seam where the two tanks would come together.
I want to get that right on there right the first time.
And the top was united with the bottom.
I think that's it. Sounded good.
Then the pipes leading out of the tank were installed. Trenches dug, and the leach field was assembled. The boys even got a chance to ride the compact excavator, and yes, I was just a little jealous. Anyway, the entire installation of the septic system went smooth, except for a few roots that didn't give in to the excavator without a good fight. By the end of the day, we had a complete system ready for inspection. The only thing left was to ask the question, how does a septic system handle the gray water, which is water that comes from showers and sinks, and black water, that is any water and solids that makes its way to the septic system via the commode? Ken Mast explained the process.
We started with 4-inch Schedule 40 coming out of the wall from the house to the tank, thicker wall pipe, standard in the county, into a 1,500-gallon tank. And then we got a baffle or a T dropping down in at that end, and we have a T coming out with a baffle on it to keep solids in the tank and liquid only to the distribution box. This delivery line, the feed line from the septic tank, comes down into a distribution box. And the reason for a distribution box is you want all your header lines. We'll have 5 header lines going to each trench. And you want all of those level, that way you get even distribution throughout the whole system. This is your distribution box with each header line running level to each finger. As long as you have 6 to 8 inch of pipe level coming out of the distribution box, then it can slope after that. But we try to keep all of them level to get an even distribution throughout the whole system. And then it goes in from the distribution box, it goes into a quick 4 infiltrator chamber that has micro leaching slits in the side, and that's where your water will disperse out.
Next on the Seegers Family Edifice Venture, the new septic system is inspected, we get our first inspection for the newly constructed greenhouse, and we correct some of our construction errors.
Heritage Antique Lumber is a small, family-run business.
We reclaim lumber and we turn it into something you can be proud of and you will be happy with.
The uniqueness of our cabinetry is one of a kind.
Heritage Antique Lumber makes furniture, crafts, mirrors, frames, and more using reclaimed barnwood.
We at Heritage Antique Lumber consider ourselves more than just craftsmen. We are also artists.
Visit our website and see our quality, heritageantiquelumber.com.
Habitat for Humanity of Elkhart County does more than build houses for those in need. They provide education on personal finance, home ownership, parenting, and other life skills to help those moving into these houses turn them into homes. Habitat for Humanity of Elkhart County, working with people from all walks of life to build simple, decent, affordable homes. For more information on how you can help, visit www.habitatec.com.
November 16th, 2007. The septic system was fully installed and now ready for inspection. The inspector checked the 1,500-gallon tank, took a close look at the distribution box.
Just making sure that was level.
She also took measurements of the header lines and leach field. She then asked a few questions and signed off on the green tag of approval. It was now time to fill in the trenches and level out the ground. With the septic system now installed, we were one major project closer to our goal, but still couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. The septic inspection went much better than our first building inspection of the greenhouse. The inspector pointed out a few things that we needed to correct. First, we needed to put stronger headers over the windows and doors. Second, we used 2x6s for the rafters, and apparently the rafter span was greater than what was allowed for 2x6s. According to the inspector, we should have used 2x8s for the rafters. Third, the overhang on the gable edge of the roof didn't meet code either.
This is going to be the one that's actually out hanging over beyond the wall. This is the first rafter in. What you can typically do is place a 2x4 flat, nailed into the first one in, and notch out to allow for this 2x4 to bridge across the two.
Well, it was apparent we had a lot of head scratching ahead of us on how we would make the required corrections.
I'll take a picture of these, of the situations I found and what I've written, and I'll give them to Ron, so if you do end up talking with Ron down the road, he'll know what I'm talking about. He'd say the same thing.
We are on our way to pick up Ian, our faithful helper. So, honk to let Ian know that we're here. Hey, what's up, Ian? What's up? What we're doing right now is we're taking the windows loose side by side, and we got to move them out. We forgot about the sheathing that goes on the rough frame before you put the windows in. For some reason, we forgot to do that. I think it was because it was like 1:30 in the morning, really late, and we were all tired, and we just wanted to get out of here. And our big concern was to put enough of it up to secure the building so no one stole the tools and stuff like that. So we had to take these loose and then put the sheathing in first, and then put the windows and mount them once again to the house. A little oversight, but it won't take that long. We should have this done today. faithfully. It is Sunday, December 2nd. My daughter, son, and Ian are here with me today, and I am changing out the overhang of the building. That was one of the things that we got picked on by the inspector, not a big problem. We took the rafter that was connected to the framing out, and then we're going to put 2x4s from the last common rafter all the way out to the edge of the overhang. Then we'll notch out the rafter that we took out, and that'll slide right in over the 2x4s. So on our list of things to fix, windows complete, overhang finished, headers, well, that one took a little longer. How long? The month of December. But we were able to remove the cripples and install the headers without having to remove any construction like the roof. Stay tuned to the Seegers Family Edifice Venture. When we come back, Penny takes a tour through an old elementary school in Elkhart, Indiana that has been renovated into apartments.
88.1 WVPE Public Radio is a vital communication resource that strives to inform, entertain, and inspire. National Public Radio is an internationally acclaimed producer and distributor of non-commercial news, talk, and entertainment programming. WVPE serves local listeners with a distinctive blend of national and local programming and annual events. In 2008, WVPE launched a sustainability initiative which includes green events and programs. Learn more at WVPE.org.
Since the early 1960s, Texture-Fine insulation has been an environmentally friendly product. Our unique process diverts millions of pounds of fiberglass scrap from landfills each year. Today, high-quality standards have made Anco Products a world-class industry leader in high-tensile strength, resilient insulation products.
Anco products include laminated metal building insulation,
insulated flexible duct system,
and indoor air quality, Green Guard certified Texture-Fine insulation.
Green isn't a new initiative. We started in the 60s.
Anco Products, our energy saves you energy.
Ever since we started working on the building, people have told us how unique our project is. Until recently, I thought our project was one of a kind to Elkhart. However, through my involvement with the Sustainable Business Roundtable, I met Brad Hunsberger, who is the Director of Housing Development for La Casa Incorporated. La Casa has recently renovated Roosevelt Elementary School into apartments. Even though La Casa was established in Goshen, Indiana in 1970, not many people, including myself, really understand what they do.
La Casa is a community development corporation. We help folks find their first home, restore their existing home if it's owner-occupied, and also provide, like this building, affordable, attractive, safe rental housing.
Could you tell us a little bit about how La Casa acquired it and what you're doing with it?
Roosevelt Center is an elementary school that was built in 1923. It functioned as an elementary school till 2006, at which point the school system decided to close it and build a new K-2 elementary school a couple blocks away. From 2006 to about early 2007, the plan was to tear down the building. The neighborhood leaders, Elkhart Housing Partnership really worked hard to save the building. They wanted to do apartments in it like we're doing, and actually only a couple of days before it was slated to be demolished, it got a historical landmark status and therefore saved.
So how about you give us a tour of the school and what you're doing with it?
Okay. This is a 2-bedroom apartment unit, kitchen, living room, 2 bedrooms and a bath down that way.
So I'm looking around the room here and I'm noticing some very obvious school-like construction. So I was wondering how much of the building were you able to reincorporate into the remodel?
We weren't able to incorporate nearly as much as we would have liked. Being a school, this place was remodeled every decade since it was built in 1923. So the majority of the historical fabric that we'd have loved to have saved has been either taken out, destroyed, covered up by multiple layers, etc. This is one of the unique units in the building. This was the girls and boys bathrooms as a school, so you can see the exposed brickwork. In the kitchen you can see the exposed terrazzo floor. We would have liked to have done a lot more historical restoration of the building. The historical designation that saved the building from being destroyed actually is only for the exterior of the building.
The windows, are those the same size? Did you just, replace them with energy efficient, but leave the window size about the same as they were?
That follows along with the historical restoration of the exterior facade. That the window openings are exactly as they were in 1923. The brickwork is the same, the lintels, the sills, etc.
In the utility room over there, I noticed that there was steel framing. Is there steel framing throughout?
Right.
And what's the reason for steel framing versus regular wood framing?
On a job this scale, steel is a lot cheaper, goes up a lot quicker, and it also is less prone to fire, obviously, and it allows us to have a little higher rating in terms of fire.
I see a security camera up there in the corner. Is that something that is incorporated throughout? Is it another measure of security?
Right, there are 35 security cameras throughout the building.
But I'm guessing with the security cameras that, the skating and skateboarding through the hallways is probably not going to be allowed.
No, that'll certainly be an activity that we will not allow.
So if they're not going to be allowed to skateboard in the hallways, what are you guys doing with these extra large hallways?
This is designed as a community gathering space. We're going to have a few desk areas for kids to do their homework in. It's going to be a free Wi-Fi hotspot for the kids and the adults to get on the internet. And we're going to have some tables and chairs, some checkers, some cards, etc. It's just a place for the people to come and hang out and meet their neighbors and socialize and whatnot.
Stay tuned to the Seegers Family Edifice Venture. When we return, Warren will tell what to expect in the next episode.
The Seegers Family Edifice Venture is sponsored in part by Habitat for Humanity of Elkhart County, building decent affordable housing with people in need. WVPE 88.1, a NPR station. Inform, entertain, inspire. Anco Products Incorporated, our energy saves you energy. And Heritage Antique Lumber, crafting fine furniture, custom cabinetry, and trim using lumber from historic barns.
If you like our video series, you'll love our website. Check it out at www.edificeventure.com. See pictures, read blogs, find cool links, plus information and tips to help you get started on your own green, sustainable home improvement projects. Next time on the Seegers Family Edifice Venture, we go shopping at the Habitat Restore and find great bargains on cabinets, doors, and cement fiber siding. Before the winter months hit, we completed the sheathing and put up house wrap on the greenhouse. Then, when things really started moving along, we were stopped once more due to equipment failure and snow. Well, until the spring thaw, then we put up a beam for additional support for the greenhouse roof since the 2x6 rafter span was greater than code allowed.